Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Programming with DPwala. Today we are discussing the problem from the Lead Code Daily Challenge. The name of the problem is Where will the ball fall? In this problem we are given a 2D grid and each grid is having some sort of panels. Here we can see that there are some sort of panels and we need to throw the balls from the each column and we need to figure out that where will this ball get dropped and in which column it gets dropped. So if it successfully reaches at the end of the column, or we can say reaches to the one of the column, then we need to print that column. And otherwise, if it got stuck in between inside the grid, uh, then we need to return -1. Then we need to print -1. And here we are doing this thing for the n number of the balls, where n is equivalent to the total number of the columns. And here they have mentioned the two conditions as well. As we can see that in the grid we are given the 1 and -1 values. 1 indicates that when the ball is redirected from the topmost right, or we can say top left corner, to the bottom right corner, and the grid value is -1 when the ball is redirects from the rightmost corner to the bottom left corner. Suppose if we reach at this position, or we can say at any of the grid, and we need to know that, or we can say calculate that where this ball can reach. So here is the biggest catch, or we can say hint, that we can use dynamic programming, as we have already solved many problems related to dynamic programming on grids. So here we can use dynamic programming, as we know that as we are here we need to use depth first search, DFS, or we can say recursion. So we are calculating the same thing again and again. So this is the case of the overlapping sub problem. Here what we can do, we can store we can create one DP table and we can store the value of each grid whenever this block is visited again, or we can say if we are reaching this block again, we simply return whatever the value is present at that block if it is not equivalent to the value that we have assigned in the starting. So now let's start with the implementation part of this question. Here we have created a 2D DP table which is of the m plus 1 cross n plus 1 size, and we have filled it with -2, as we have not used -1 here because we 1 and -1 are already used in the grid and we need to use it. So I have chosen the different number, that is -2, and here I have also declared the vector res, which will store our final answer. Here I have made the DFS call for each column, as we are throwing the balls from each column. After successfully making the DFS call, we need to check for the few conditions that whether the ball will reach at the end or not. So here first this is our base condition, that if our row is equivalent to the end row of, or we can say end of the grid, then we will simply return the column. And after that we have here we have checked whether that our row and column are inside the grid or not, because this condition is necessary, as this condition is required to check whether it is the I and j, or we can say row and column, are going out of bound or not. If suppose this condition is true, we go inside this if statement and we need to check that whether the current grid value is 1 or not, or -1 or not. Suppose if in this grid we can see that here the value is 1. So if the grid value is 1, we need to check for the immediate grid in the next column that whether it is 1 or not. If it is 1, then this is the correct path that the ball can follow. Here this is the condition that we have checked, that grid r comma c plus 1, immediate next column value is 1 or not. If it is 1, then we need to call the DFS function again. And here we have also checked for the DP table, as for minimizing the, or we can say for the optimization, we have used the dynamic programming. We check that if the current diagonal value is visited or not. If it is visited, we simply return the value that is present at that DP table, as means this case is for that we have already visited that value in the previous path. If this condition is false, we simply call the DFS function again for the corresponding R plus 1 C plus 1, means the diagonal grid. And we after if we do not encounter the grid value as 1, and if we encounter the grid value as -1, we need to check for we need to do the same thing. Suppose if we are at this position and the value is -1, so we need to check in the next in the left side, in the next immediate column, that whether the grid value is -1 or not. If it is -1, we do the same thing here also. After doing all these things and doing optimization via doing dynamic programming and doing all these things, if we do not encounter, or we can say, path for some of the ball, because here some of the conditions might be there that there is no path for any of the ball to reach at its end, so we simply return -1 here. If we have the V-shaped path, means there is no path for that ball to reach at the end, so we simply return -1 in that case. Here is the whole implementation, or we can say whole code for this problem. Hope this video is helpful in understanding this problem, and here we have discussed dynamic programming and depth first search approach. And here we have also discussed that when to apply dynamic programming whenever there is a condition of the overlapping subproblem. Hope this video is really helpful in understanding these important concepts. And please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell icon, and stay connected for daily lead code challenge and all code shape, code forces and lead code contest analysis. Thank you.